Hey guys, this is Will. I made a fortune-telling app, whatalies.com, in a few days with the help from Cursor. I had very little experience with the front end, but Cursor helped me a lot in this process. I was impressed by Cursor, and I had some thought about it after using it, and I want to share with you guys. Maybe let's start from what is good about Cursor. As I mentioned, I have no front-end experience, so Cursor can help me to build UI project structure with best practice. The basic process is more like I send the image to Cursor and it come up with first implementation. Then we going forward to fix the details together. Different from previous time that I have to build up context about the framework, learning by myself, then I can go in further. Secondly, when I provide enough context and a detailed explanation, Cursor could finish the task perfectly for me. It's more like a solid coder. As long as I give it a clear result, clear outcome, it would finish perfectly. For example, it's very common to adding a new field in API. When I explain to Cursor, I just explain what API I'm touching and what field I want to add and why I want add this field and how this field will going through the whole API process. And as long as provide enough context, Cursor would finish this task very, very fast and very, very perfect. It even come up with some test and finish the test for me without asking for it. However, when I come up with vague description, it will do things differently. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it makes things hard to manage. The good example is that I asked Cursor to integrate button with backend API. I haven't decided should we do the result page yet, so I didn't mention that, but Cursor do the result page by itself. It design itself, implement itself, and even test itself. What makes me surprised is that the result page made by Cursor is kind of acceptable. The design follows the same color theme and reuse the same header. I don't have to design the whole page from the scratch. I just need to iterate from what Cursor come up. For sure, there has some bad examples. I asked Cursor to implement API without detailed design. I was sent that prompt by accident without finishing it, and Cursor take it without asking any more detailed questions. It just starting coding and using his imagination. That would be disaster because the code going to be unmanageable to me. So here comes the tip of using Cursor. The tip is using Cursor to make small change at a time. There are two benefits of it. The first one is making the code repository manageable. I mean, this is your product. You still need to have a clear understanding what's happening in there. With understanding of code, when you're trying to come up with new task for Cursor, you can provide it with very, very detailed context so the Cursor can do the task better. And the second benefit is that letting AI focus on one task at a time. It will have a clear goal and a clear outcome for you, so you can manage the outcome of AI and make the product move progress. Of course, there are some pain points about using Cursor. The first thing is that Cursor has a chance to build things over and over again, even though it's already implemented somewhere else. This is mostly because Cursor missing the context of whole project. Since Cursor missing the context, so the Cursor would think this utility method I haven't done before, so I have to do it now. That's why you can see Cursor building same things over and over. I think human has same problem as well. With the code base goes very large, it's very hard for human to check every utility method implementation. Especially for newcomers, it's very common for them to rebuild the utility method again and again. I think the solution will fall into project management area, how to properly educate AI and human to build a comprehensive understanding of the project. The second thing is that Cursor would make same mistake over and over. I noticed that when I debugging a bug, the Cursor originally implemented with A method and it failed. It come with method B and failed, and come up with method D and C and also failed. Then Cursor back to implementation A and over again. That's because the context window is not large enough to make Cursor to remember what happens like 20 minutes ago. The third pain point is that when description is vague, the result will be sometimes off. Cursor used imagination to fill the gap between the description and the implementation. I think there are two ways to make it better. The first one, agent need to figure out when to ask questions to get more clear answer so that we have a concrete outcome for agent to perform. And the second part is for human. We need to practice the skill to describe the problem more clearly. I think it's sometimes hard for programmer because the coding language is more different with human language because coding language is more accurate. And this leads to the idea of document-facing development. I think I will mention that in the next section. After this experiment, I have some thought about what Cursor actually meaning in programming. First of all, I like to separate coding and programming. I need to define them first. For the coding, it's more like turning idea into code. including writing code, test, and deployment. As for programming, it's more like turning product idea into real, including but not limited to the understanding the requirement, select proper tech stack, abstract requirement into data model, project planning, and coding, etc. From the definition, we can easily figure out that Cursor will replace the coder for sure, but the program is still the key area that, first, separate good software engineer and average software engineer. Second, separate human and Cursor. Then, let's come up with the question, how to become a good programmer in AI era? I think there are two areas that we need to practice more to keep us competitive. The first one is good project management. This including things like, the first is progress management, the second is code quality management, and the third is document management. It's more like you are a senior software engineer and you have Cursor as your junior software engineer that doing the actual implementation for you. What you need to do is just provide the junior software engineer with a guidance, and it will develop what you need for you. And what you need to do is just to make sure the code quality is high and the progress is on track so that we can deploy the product in time. The second important skill is documentation-oriented programming. As I mentioned before, programmers sometimes has limitation in express what they are thought in natural language. That is because programming language is more accurate, but in the AI world, you need to practice to how to express your idea in natural language. We just need to coding for the prototype to the AI so the AI can come up with better idea and better solution for you and do the implementation for you. So I think it is more important to express your idea in documentation and keep documentation up to date in the project so AI can do their implementation based on the document. I think programming changed a lot since Cursor launched. For individual programmers, we need to practice more advanced skills instead of learning how to use frameworks. Besides that, I think coding agent like Cursor will bring so much energy into indie app development. I think I will discuss this in later videos. My name is Will. These are my thoughts after using Cursor to develop Waterlines. If you want to try it, please visit waterlines.com. If you like this video, please subscribe and like. That means a lot to me. See you guys in next video.